Hello everyone, it's a pleasure to be here today. For those of you who know me, it's my pleasure to see you again. And like I said before, usually I used to come in the springtime, summertime, and it's always, beautiful and sunny. And I thought, oh well, this time probably it's going to be dark and gray, maybe rainy. And booms, I'm coming, and it's such beautiful weather, and it's really uplifting, and I'm so excited to play for you a beautiful program. Some of the greatest masterpieces, great piano virtuosos, and some maybe less familiar music, but very exciting and fun. So I will start my program with Frédéric Chopin, one of the greatest composers who wrote for piano. His music, he's actually a Polish composer. Half of his life he lived in Poland, but then he moved to France, and the second half of his life he lived in Paris and France. He wrote the most beautiful music with those gorgeous melodies, very virtuosic, filled with grace and elegance. And, I will play for you actually one of his finest pieces that he wrote, his Ballade No. 1. Actually interesting to mention that, even though I said it's my opinion and the opinion of many others, Robert Schumann, one of the also greatest composers of the 19th century, once told him, I think this is one of your finest work you ever wrote. And Chopin answered, I'm so happy that you said this, because I think this is one of my best, and it's really dear to me. So this will be a really great piece, filled with different emotions, different characters, combination of those, depicting the different feelings and emotions. And actually, it's like a storytelling, which is a definition of the word ballade. When you listen to this, there's just so much going on, and it's truly a beautiful piece, Ballade No. 1 in G minor. Hope you enjoy. Thank you very much. Well, the next composer is another phenomena. He's one of the greatest pianists who ever lived. His name is Sergei Rachmaninoff. He was such a tremendous virtuoso. I don't think that anybody can be compared to him. And also, he's a wonderful composer. His music is just so filled with these heartwarming melodies, rich harmonies, tremendous virtuosity, very masterful virtuosity. He was a phenomenal pianist, and so his virtuosity is just so well written, so pianistic. His music is just, his piano concertos, I'm sure you're familiar with. Number 2 and number 3 became the big hits in any music, in the movies. So his music is just truly, truly remarkable. And one of the known cycles that he wrote was 2 books of études tableaux. That's in French, which means pictures etudes. Well, because they're etudes, of course, they are written very virtuosically, but also they're very picturesque. What is picture etude? It means that every piece has some kind of musical idea, some picture, some maybe story behind it. However, Rachmaninoff didn't leave us any titles, any names. And I believe maybe he has some ideas, but he wanted maybe to leave some space for your own imagination. So I will play for you 2 of them, the first one in G minor and E flat major, Études Tableau by Sergei Rachmaninoff. Being a great virtuoso, it's actually a luxury. You know, you can sit and play anything you want. You can play the most difficult pieces ever written, or you can improvise and write your own arrangements, which usually are very virtuosic and challenging. And that's who Rachmaninoff was. He was a great improviser, I would say, or he wrote a really beautiful piano arrangements. He wrote the book of those arrangements. When he borrows a piece, it could be anything from Bach, from Baroque time, or from his contemporaries, and wrote a very close version to original piece, but very beautifully arranged, usually very virtuosic. So I will introduce to you one of them, and this is originally written by a wonderful composer and violinist, Fritz Kreisler. So he wrote this beautiful piece, very elegant and graceful piece for violin and piano, and it is called Liebeslied, that's German, which means sorrow of love. So Rachmaninoff borrows that beautiful piece, decorates with lots of virtuosic and beautiful passages, and writes this piece for piano alone. So this will be Sorrow of Love by Rachmaninoff on Fritz Kreisler. Thank you very much. Well, there was another great virtuoso, lived a little bit earlier, contemporary of Frédéric Chopin, and his name is Franz Liszt. And he also, being a tremendous, one of the greatest pianists ever lived, he's actually invented, well, not invented, but started this tradition of piano arrangement, piano transcriptions. When he loved to perform and play, you know, he was a good-looking fellow and was a tremendous pianist. And back then in 19th century, pianists were like superstars. Everybody had piano at home, and at least 2-3 people would play piano. So if you're a great pianist like Franz Liszt, you are truly like a rock star. So he played lots of his own music, and also he wrote many piano arrangements. So I will play for you one of them. And this is actually on opera. Opera by Verdi, Giuseppe Verdi, and the opera is called Rigoletto. So what Liszt does, he borrows, Act 3 actually from the opera. That's the climax of the opera, where all the main characters come and they have this beautiful quartet that they're singing together and by itself, and it's like the most dynamic play. So he borrows that moment, and he writes arrangement, and he calls it Paraphrase of Rigoletto. So this will be Paraphrase of Rigoletto by Franz Liszt. much. Well, and now I would like to switch gears to something very different and closer to our times and our age. And this will be a composer, actually, well, he passed away just recently, but contemporary composer. And his name is William Bolcom, American composer, and he's a wonderful composer. And besides that, he wrote many, many pieces for piano, for voice, and he also wrote a book of ragtimes. Most of them are very traditionally, kind of in a traditional style of Scott Joplin, but some of them are very edgy with all kind of unconventional ways of playing. And so I will play for you one of them, and this is called Rag Fantasy, and the name is The Serpent's Kiss. So the name already says it all. And there will be some unconventional ways of piano playing. So whatever I'm going to be doing, it's all written out. Don't think that I'm getting too excited. So this is The Serpent's Kiss by William Bolcom. Thank you very much. Well, I would be very, very happy to introduce today my special guest, Dan, who is my son. And it's actually interesting history here in this library. The first time he came here, he was that big, maybe 8 or 9 years old, I don't remember. And we played one piece and just hit it so well. And actually, we will play today this piece again. And this lady came to me and said, you know, he just stole your show. I didn't mind at all, you know, he's my son. And so today, I'm so happy to introduce, he's much bigger. He's a little taller than me now. And we will play for you some duets, 4 hands, and he will play also some solo. Please welcome Dan. High school junior, so very busy. Lots of science and math, but he keeps up in music. Well, this next piece is by Ukrainian composer. His name is Miroslav Skorik, and this is a jazz piece by him. Well, we will play one more piece before Dan starts to play solo. And this is actually by very known Argentinian composer, Astor Piazzolla. And you know, he is a master of tango. And one of his, the most famous tangos is Libre Tango. So this is a version of Libre Tango for four hands. The next piece that Dan will play solo is one of the greatest pieces that Chopin wrote. But not only that it's so beautiful and so, intensely, it's very different Chopin. It's very dramatic, very intense. But it's also a larger scale piece. It's actually a sonata in 4 movements. This is the first movement in B flat minor. And it's just so dramatic and so difficult technically. It's one of the most difficult, I think, pieces that Chopin wrote. And I'm very proud that Dan will be playing this piece. So this will be Sonata number 2 by Frédéric Chopin, first movement. when I was 16 years old. It's a tremendously hard piece for piano. Well, we will finish our program with actually the Russian composer Gavrilin, who wrote this beautiful arrangement from the ballet Anyuta for piano for hands. And we will play for you waltz. But we'll finish the program with the piece that we actually played here, I think 7 or 8 years ago with Dan, Tarantella. So this will be waltz and Tarantella by Olga Vinokur.